Do you remember which characters we were most angry at in The Walking Dead, and who therefore had the most satisfying deaths? Was Shane one of them? Was Ed, Carol's husband, who beat her? What about the governor's death? What is the ranking of the most satisfying deaths in the series? Well, in this video I will talk about it, and if you wanna know, stay here and let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel, my name is João Victor and I'm back to talk about the Walking Dead universe, but not specifically about the entire universe. Now it's about the main show. It's about the deaths of the main show, some remarkable moments in the series. Recently I decided to make a ranking of the most remarkable deaths, the most satisfying deaths. No, I'm not crazy, I'm not a psychopath, but as a person who watched The Walking Dead for years, I had some characters I hated and I loved seeing their end. So before we start, don't forget to check the like in this video, it helps me a lot with the promotion. Also, don't forget to subscribe in this channel if you like more contents about The Walking Dead. In the next month we will have The Last of Us, and if you like, I will make videos making reviews about the episodes. Thank you for your patience with my English. This is not my native language, but I'm trying to practice, and there we go. Yeah, let's go to the point. Let's start with the position number 10. This position is occupied by the character Dawn Lerner. This one who was an antagonist villain there, who I will put in this video in this position, because her death, although she didn't do that much evil, like killing a very crazy crowd or something like this, even with it, it was very satisfying, and at the same time it wasn't. That's why she is in this position, the last one. In this case, in case you don't remember, she was a leading police officer at a hospital in downtown Atlanta. Beth, Carol, and Noah ended up being kind of enslaved by her there, apart from the other people, and in the end, when she went there to deliver Beth and return to the people there, Beth ended up being killed by her. Like a scary scene and everything, because she killed a very important character that everyone liked. That was so sad to watch. And then it already makes you angry. Kill her, someone, for God's sake. So Daryl put a gun there and killed her. So of course, at the same time, we were sad because of Beth dead, but at the same time we had some satisfaction seeing her die. It was so difficult to watch during the season 5, but of course, counting, we're going to number 9. The position number 9, this position is occupied by a character that you may not remember, but I think most do remember, which is Thomas, the asshole prisoner there from season 3. If you don't remember, in season 3, when they arrived at prison, they found a group of prisoners inside that he has to learn to respect, to stop being fool, but he didn't. He thought he was the guy he tried to rule inside, to be the manager of the prison. So it turned out that in the end he tried to kill Rick twice, so you can think, Rick at the very end of the prison was already with the governor trying to fight him. That's when Rick stabbed him in a satisfying way with a machete right in the middle of his head. It was a crazy scene, a very graphic scene. So I think it makes sense for this character to be in the position number 9. And let's go to the next one, number 8. The 8th most satisfying death, let's say, which was Spencer Monroe's. He was the son of Deanna Monroe, the leader of Alexandria, and also son of Reg. Basically, he was the son of the Alexandria leaders, but after they died, he continued to be an asshole, let's say, Rick's leadership, getting in the way, trying to steal, trying to sabotage these things. On top of everything, he was extremely cowardly. Everyone hated this character. In this case, his death was one of the first favors that Negan did for civilization. In season 7, he went to Alexandria, went there to loot things at the beginning of this, intimidating people, and in the middle of this, Spencer tried to get his attention, kind of get close and stuff, pretend to be against Rick and such. So we have something in common, but it turned out to be downhill, because when Spencer declares to Negan that he likes to steal Rick's leadership, Negan doesn't like that at all. He doesn't like cowardly and traitors people. So he just passes the machete there in his belly, goes down his gut and killed. That's it. Rick still finishes there later. Yeah, in this, of course, let's go to the next position, the next one, the number 7, which I know will be controversial for everyone, which I think would put either this character out of this top 10 or a much higher position. Let's talk about Andrea, another character who dies in season 3. Yeah, if you don't remember this character, she appeared for the first time in season 1 in the camp in Atlanta with her sister Amy. We also have Andrea in the comics, but in the comics she's kind of different. Like the way they created Andrea for the show wasn't that good. People don't like it, especially in the season 3 in the governor's arc, because she gets close to him, she gets to love him. So during the season she's starting to become that detestable character who defended the governor, loved him blindly. That's That's why most people hated her. So when she died, it was very satisfying. She realized the truth about the governor too late and dies from a zombie bite. When Rick's group arrives, it is too late, it's a sad scene, but if we compare it to Andrea from the comics, she was very poorly writing in the series. That's why she is number 7 in my top 10. So with that, we will continue to go to the number 5 position, which is occupied by a more recent character. Not that recent, but died in one of the last seasons. Let's talk about Gregory. Yeah, that's right, that hilltop leader, like more or less, because as a leader, he had nothing. He was a weirder human being, another cowardly and ridiculous character who died in the first episode of the season 9 by means of a gallows. Since the first time he appeared back in season 6 and also during the war against Negan's group, the Saviors, he betrayed his group a lot of times. And in the season 7, he betrayed once again the trust of people. He tried to kill Maggie. He was a mastermind like that. He tried to sabotage the scheme there, and he ended up killed in a very medieval way. That was the biggest event of the beginning of the season 9. And I will continue. Let's go to the next part of this video. Let's go to the position number 5. And I think the most satisfying, the most people will agree in this top 5 position there. In the number 5 position, I will put Peletier. Yeah, if you don't remember who he is, it's because he appeared very little. He died in the episode 4 of season 1. He was Carol's asshole husband. Yeah, he beat her, he assaulted her, he mistreated her in various ways, which already made many people hate him right from the beginning of series. And in addition, there were indications, nothing proven, but indications that he, let's say, sexually abused his daughter, Sophia. At the time, he was a character that we were very angry with. The crowd even thanked Shane when he beat him up there, but his death was even more satisfying, because after the horde of zombies invaded the camp, he ended up being taken by surprise by a zombie and he was killed. And after a while, who finished him was Carol, his own wife, in moments of extreme anger, very heavy on her, giving violent blows to the guy's head, what was left of him. And so, of course, we made it on top 4. Let's talk to the next one. I think it will be one of the most controversial ones, but many people will understand me. For me, the 4th place goes to Shane's death. That's right, it was for me the 4th most satisfying death of the show, which was also controversial for a crowd. There would be people who wouldn't put it as a satisfying death, because there are people who kind of likes Shane, they like him too much. Like, I like Shane, I think he's a good character, but I think he's a villain, because he betrayed his best friend, and when his best friend came back, he tried to kill him, to take the leadership and to take his family. But I know there are people who did much more evil than him, and there are people who say that his death was a mistake and all that. No, for me, not either. He was already an asshole who tried to make a totally different decisions from Rick. I have to say some were favorable in the second season there. That's why a lot of people started to like him, let's put it in that way. As I said, over time he started to get angry with Rick and decided to kill him. He decided to kill Rick in an ambush, and when he points the gun at Rick, Rick kind of starts to calm the situation, take out his revolver saying he is going to give it to him. He starts talking, saying that they can let this pass and live normally, and then Shane let his guard down, takes a step and starts to agree. So Rick punches a knife in the middle of the guy's chest. So it was very strong to watch, was heavy scene, but also for me it was very satisfying to watch because of what Shane was doing. And also after this, the Shane zombie was finished by Carl, who shot to the head. So in this, of course, let's go to the 3rd place. Yeah, the number 3 in this list. Let's talk about the leader of the Whispers, the group of villains that appeared in season 9. Let's talk about Alpha. Yeah, for me, she's one of the most psychopathic villains from The Walking Dead. Like the way she used it to kill her enemies, putting their heads in some spikes. And also, she did the same thing with some people from her group, people who don't used to respect her, the way they live as an animals in the middle of the forest, the blind way she leads her life in a group as if it were a cult or religion. I believe that this was one of the only villains in The Walking Dead who killed for pleasure pleasure. She could kill anyone around her just because she felt like it. Alpha was one of the characters who had the least humanity in her mind in this apocalypse. She was truly crazy, sick. So when she died from Negan's hand was very, very satisfying. And the way she died in the same way that she killed the other survivors, the innocent people. We see in the season 10 that Negan gets infiltrated in the middle of the Whispers, earns Alpha's trust, and earns Alpha's heart. She started to love him. And in the best opportunity, Negan killed her in one of the most sinister ways. A very, very graphic scene. He coldly cuts her neck, looking at her eyes, and then hands her head to Carol, and I think that point made it all the more satisfying. Carol getting her revenge and Negan getting his redemption. So the third position for me is occupied by Alpha. And let's go to the silver medal. Yeah, to the second place in this list. I like to say this list is based on my opinion. I don't know if you agree with it, but for me, the second most satisfying death from The Walking Dead was the governor's death. Because he was an extremely bad, evil guy. He killed people and he caused Andrea's, Monroe's death, a lot of things, killed Herschel in front of everyone. So even he wasn't that psychopath as Alpha, he killed most important characters than her. Like after several attacks inside the prison, they're in the line, just in the punch, one destroying the other. In the end, the one who really gets beaten is Rick, because the governor beats him. Rick has never been beaten so much, just like in that fight there. Rick is red like a pepper, he's going to kill him, hanged, when suddenly Michonne takes her katana. She sticks the sword in his back, coming out of his belly, which consecrates his death. It wasn't just who killed him, because the one who finished him, ended his agony, was Laylee, the lady he was in love with, but he abandoned her and her daughter that died. It was the second most satisfactory death from The Walking Dead. And now let's go to the first position, which if you can't imagine who it is, I'm going to talk about here now, which is occupied by Gareth. Yeah, his death for me was the most satisfying of The Walking Dead so far, but I will explain why. I will explain my opinion. I think you should understand, but Gareth was one of the most evil villains on the show so far. Like, the same thing as the governor, he wasn't that evil as Alpha, but the way he killed a lot of characters was one of the weirdest and the most psychopathic things I've seen so far in the show. He not only killed several people, but also ate them. He and his group was eating human flesh for months. A lot of survivors died in a crazy way. He had his own refrigerator of human beings to kill them and eat the meat. It's the most insane thing from The Walking Dead for me. You can imagine how many innocent people were looking for life there, and he betrayed them and killed these people just for eat the flesh, apart from the attempt to kill our main ones there. And the way he died is the most satisfying way of the show. In this case, his death started from the moment he ate Bob's leg, arrested him, and then he found out that Rick and his group were in the Father Gabriel's little church, close to them. He went after Rick, a form of ambush, but in his ambush, he was ambushed, because Rick's group was waiting, ambushed everyone, made them beg for their lives, especially Gareth then, with Rick, and finally, no one forgave him. They killed everyone, like a lot of flesh, a lot of blood inside the church there, at the same time in the machete cutting there, destroying everyone, just the screaming that we can hear. It is worth mentioning that the death of Gareth himself, which was the most satisfying because he was the leader. And I think one point that helps this is the fact that the version of Rick that kills Gareth, it's the best version of Rick in this show. The bloodthirsty and cold Rick. This helped a lot to make the death more satisfying in The Walking Dead, in my opinion. So for me, this was the craziest of all because like it woke up the animal Rick from that moment on that everyone likes to remember Rick like that, and basically that was my top 10. I know that there were other deaths that I could have put in. I thought of some, but it's my opinion, and as it's a top 10, it wouldn't fit in the video. It will be too long. So I want you to put in the comments your list, if you agree with my list, and if you don't, go right there, which is your top 10. And also, don't forget to check the like in this video, it helps me a lot with the promotion. Don't forget to subscribe here if you like more top 10s like this, more videos talking about the web episodes, more explanations about some characters and zombies and this outbreak, and more videos about other shows and movies. Thank you for watching this video, I'll be back soon, and bye!